All right, thank you very much for joining us once again. Time to bring you latest from the world of sports on the First Line Morning Show. We come to you every morning between 8:15 and 8:30. My name is Adamu Muftau, and just like we do it every other morning, we bring you exclusives and the necessary things you need to know as far as the sports world is concerned. And we're starting with the local scene. And yesterday, it was a very interesting and mouth-watering game, although it ended in stalemate between Kumasi Asante Kotoko and Accra Hearts of Oak, Ghana's two biggest clubs at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium. And despite that draw, Kumasi Asante Kotoko annexed their 23rd Premier League title, beating rivals Accra Hearts of Oak to 3 straight victories. That's 23-20. So that gives Kumasi Asante Kotoko 23 trophies, and then Accra Hearts of Oak are still on 20. But there are other games that came up yesterday across the various centers. You had Edubiasi winning by 2-1 against Wa All Stars, and elsewhere Inter Allies, they have survived the relegation. They defeated Eduana Stars by 1-0. Hazakes and Dwarf settled for a goalless drawn game, and then Bechem United also defeated Mediama Sporting Club. Brekum Chelsea won Amida's Professionals 0, and that confirms Amida's Professionals to relegation. Hearts of Lions lost to Kumasi King Faisal by 1-0. Liberty Professional lost to Ashanti Gold by 1-0 at the Dansuman Karendorf Park. And just like I told you earlier in the introduction, Kumasi Asante Kotoko Accra Hearts of Oak settled for a goalless drawn game. So we look at how the table is going to pan out as far as the league is concerned. Just one game to end the Premier League season, and Kumasi Asante Kotoko have 55 points. Second club is Hearts of Lions, 47 points. Accra Hearts of Oak are in third with 45 points. So the bottom three, just like I told you earlier, Amida's Professionals have been relegated with 33 points. Also very dicey for Cape Coast Ebusian Dwarfs. They could be relegated if they lose their last game in the First Capital Plus Premier League. They are 15th with 34 points. And 15th club is Eduana Stars with 37 points. So that's how it looks like. Very dicey. And then clubs ranging 5th to the 16th spot could be relegated after the last games that will be played on Wednesday. That's going to be a midweek action. Moving on to our next story now, and to the top scorers as far as the league is concerned. Augustine Okra was on hat-trick. That was yesterday, and that gave him 12 goals on top of the league. Seydou Bansi of Kotoko has 11 goals to his credit, and Paul De Vries of Wa All Stars has 9 goals to his credit. Emmanuel Osei of Ashanti Gold and then Frederick Boating of Dwarfs all have 8 goals to their credit, as well as Richard Yamo of Hazakes, and Samuel Afu of Hazakes has 7 goals to his credit. So games that would be coming up next in the week 30 of the First Capital Plus Premier League has Wa All Stars doing action against Liberty Professionals. Ashanti Gold take on Hearts of Lions, and King Faisal Brekum Chelsea would be doing action, and Bechem United Amida's Professionals will also be doing action. And then Mediama Sporting Club welcome Hazakes, and Inter Allies away to Dwarfs. Eduana Stars would be welcoming Asante Kotoko. Edubiasi away to Accra Hearts of Oak. And a very dicey situation for the clubs in the First Capital Plus Premier League. Away from the First Capital Plus Premier League, we're moving on to Women's League, and yesterday it was Hazakes Ladies who won it back to back as far as the Women's League is concerned. They defeated Fabulous Ladies 5-3 on penalty shootout, and that result give them the Fair Play Awards, and that gives them 2,000 Ghana cedis as the trophy and then the winning prize. And runners-up Fabulous Ladies took 1,000 Ghana cedi for their prize money. So we're moving on to some international news. Before we move on to the international news now, let's do something on the Black Stars of Ghana. And on Saturday, they were up against the Netherlands, and Robin Van Persie ensured they were losers on the day, and that gives Kwesi Appiah some form of headache as far as the World Cup preparation is concerned. But the most important thing was he needed to whittle his squad down to 23, and that was what happened. The unfortunate incident was for Jerry Akamenku. He was axed from the squad because he had injury concerns. He got injured. He injured his ankle when he went for an aerial challenge. So he joins David Akam and Jeffrey Schlup out of the Black Stars squad. So they are currently in Miami, and they'll be preparing to face the South Koreans in another international friendly on 9th of next month. So the 23-man squad has Fatah Udauda in goal for the Black Stars, Adam Lassing, Kwarase, Strom Godset, And then Steven Adams, he happens to be the only local player in the squad. Defenders are Samuel Inkum of Platanias in Greece, Daniel Opari, Standard Liège, and he has just moved to FC Porto in the Portuguese league. Harrison Afu plays for Espérance Sportive de Tunis, John Boy, Rennes, and then Jonathan Mensah, Evian Tono Gaia of France. Rashid Soumala is with Mamelodi Sundowns in South Africa. Midfielders include Michael Essien, Sule Ali Muntari, both of AC Milan, Rabiu Mohamed, Kuban Krasnodar in Russia. We have Kojo Asamo of All Ladies of Italian Soccer Juventus. Emmanuel Ajimambedu plays for Udinese in the Italian Serie A. A free Aka of Parma FC in the Italian Serie A. Christian Achi of Vitesse in the Dutch Eredivisie. Albert Adoma, Middlesbrough, Andre Ayew, Olympique Marseille, Mubarak Wakasu of Rubin Kazan, also in the Russian league. The striking ability will be seeing Asamoah Gyan doing action alongside Kevin Prince Boateng and Abdul Majid Waris, as well as the younger brother of Andre Dede Ayew, Jordan Ayew. So very bad news for the three players that have been axed from Kwesi Appiah's 26-man squad: Jeffrey Schlupp, David Akam, and then the injured Jerry Akamenko. The next game is against South Korea on the 9th of next month, and then they'll be planning to Brazil for the 2014 FIFA World Cup. Ghana is paired alongside Germany, Portugal, and the United States of America in Group G. So are they going to qualify from next stage of the competition? We're moving on to some other stories now, and to David Akam. He was dropped from the squad, but the fortunate thing is that he picked up a train in the Netherlands, went to Sweden and scored for his club. He scored the solitary goal that ensured Helsingborg were 1-0 winners over Falkenberg on Sunday. So good news for David Akam, although he was axed from the squad, but he managed to score for his club. And David Akam shook off his massive disappointment to ensure he was on top of his game for Helsingborg. And the 23-year-old, as Iva picked, was not picked alongside Jerry Akamenko and then Jeffrey Schlupp, as well as the others who have been dropped from the Black Stars squad. Akam has now scored 7 goals in 10 appearances for Helsingborg in the Swedish top flight league. Probably in 2015 he would have his chance with the Black Stars when they take on another qualifiers for the 2015 African Nations Cup to be hosted in Morocco. That is later next year. So very bad news for David Akam and his charges. He's out of the squad, but he's making waves in the Swedish top flight league. 10 goals in 10 appearances for David Akam. Still doing some World Cup news now, and to the camp of Croatia, and head coach of the side, Niko Kovac. He's a former international. He's out with his 23-man squad for the 2014 FIFA World Cup, and they will kick off their first game against the host nation, Brazil, and that's going to be a very tough game for the Croatian national team. And notable names among the squad include Dario Shena of Shakhtar Donetsk, and that one is in the Ukrainian league. Daniel Pranis, also Panathinaikos in the Greek league, as well as Dejan Lovran. He plays for Southampton in the English Premier League. And Luka Modric of Real Madrid is also in the squad for the Croatian national team. Ivan Rakitic plays for Sevilla in the Spanish Premier League, and then also Mateo Kovacic is also in there for the Croatian national team. Mario Mandzukic, the top-notch striker for Bayern Munich, is also in the squad, as well as Nikita Jelavic of Hull City. Ivica Olic of VfB Stuttgart is also in the squad. Eduardo da Silva of Shakhtar Donetsk is also in the Croatian squad for the World Cup. Ivan Perisic also plays for VfL Wolfsburg, also in the German Bundesliga. So Croatia also be playing, also played in the France 98, we're playing in the 2014 FIFA World Cup. They are up against Brazil in their first game as far as the 2014 FIFA World Cup is concerned. A very arduous task for Croatia and Niki Kovac to make sure they cause a stay. In France 98, that was their best result. They came third after defeating the Netherlands national team in the France 98 FIFA World Cup. So away from the FIFA World Cup, and Class C countries are still preparing for the 2014 World Cup with some international friendlies that came up over the weekend. Panama drew 1-1 with Serbia, and we're going over for the footage of Ghana's opponent, the United States of America and Turkey. It was 2-1 in favor of the Yanks. They call themselves the Yanks because they belong to the Yankees. Goals from Fabian Johansson and then Clint Dempsey ensured the United States were 2-1 winners over Turkey So we go for the footage as we enjoy other results of the international friendlies placed across Europe. Cameroon and Germany settled for 2-all drawn game, and Germany also preparing to face Ghana in their last Group G game in the 2014 FIFA World Cup. Sweden was engaged in a serious battle with Belgium. It ended 2-0 for Belgium, and France-Paraguay also ended 1-1. Elsewhere, Honduras lost to Israel by 4-2, and both countries are not going for the World Cup. We have Uruguay and Northern Ireland. It's ended 1-0 in favor of Uruguay, and Bosnia-Herzegovina defeated Ivory Coast in the early kick of the international friendly by 2-1. Croatia defeated Mali by also 2-1. Netherlands, just like we brought to you earlier, defeated Ghana by 1-0. Matches will also be coming up today, and then Croatia will be doing action against Japan. UAE come up against Georgia, and Czech Republic up against Austria. So that's how the international friendlies are going to come up. So in your shots now is the USA versus Turkey game that ended 2-1 in favor of the United States of America. Country is still preparing for the 2014 World Cup, and Ghana is no exception. They are up against the South Koreans on the 9th of next month. They've landed in Miami, and they'll be preparing alongside James Kosiapia and the technical team, alongside the 23 players that have been called up. Now it's all now dusted as Kosiapia has his 23-man squad, and the question is, can he go past the previous, that's his predecessors? That's how time is going to allow us. But we end the sports segment with some tennis news now, where Roger Federer failed to reach the French Open title when he lost to Enes Gourbis, the 17-time Grand Slam champion, led by 1 set, but he went down after 2 sets, 6-7, 7-6, 6-2, 4-6, 6-3. So that's the disappointment for Roger Federer in the French Open. Elsewhere, 4th round victory would have taken the 32-year-old to the next stage, but unfortunately for him, he dropped from 2 sets and he lost on that score. So in the men's draw, Novak Djokovic brushed aside French star Joe Wilfried Tsonga. He also qualified for the next stage of the French Open Championship, and the second seed will next play Milos Raonic, who beat Marcel Granollers by another 2 straight sets in the French Open Championship. Former world champion Maria Sharapova also swept aside her Australian counterpart Sam Stosur to qualify for the next stage of the French Open Championship. That's how interesting it went for the French Open Championship. Some international friendlies played across Europe, and the Black Stars also preparing for the 2014 FIFA World Cup. And that's how time would allow us on the First Line Morning Show on the sports segment. My name is Adamu Muftau, but just like I've been telling you every morning, if you need to get going, then you need to get a nutritious meal. And the one who's going to provide you is Coco King. Is it your Hausa Coco? Is it going to be your Ekogbemi? Is it going to be your Oblayo? Then you have to turn to Coco King. And then there's a saying that good feathers make good beds, and good dresses make good gentlemen. If you need to look good and you have to look good for your quality shoes, men's shirts, then you don't need to turn anywhere. It has to be 247 Unisex Boutique and Belladonna. I know very well Richard Brown, aka The Capo, is doing the watching now, and you love sports on the First Line Morning Show. For a quality, authentic Zara dresses, then you have to turn to 247 Unisex Boutique. Locate them at North Kaneshi opposite the Barclays Bank. You can contact them on 0244 672591, 0244 672591, or 0264 264436, 0264 264436. God willing, same time tomorrow morning, join us for another interesting edition of the sports segment. My name Adamu Muftau. Valentina Fourier is up next with the ECU.
Minutes. So this is confirmation of